arguably one of the most famous opticians in the UK. Not just because he's pretty good with eyes, but because you've stomped all over social media and really kind of put your thumbprint on the business. And I know that it's garnered you some interesting awards. I know you've lectured and spoken in Dubai and various other countries. So Garry, welcome.
Thank
you. What I'd like to do is try and get a little bit of a feel for who you are and what you do. Now, you and I are friends, so I know that you've got so much to talk about. But we've only got 5 hours, so we've got to be a little bit careful about this. So before we talk about your education and your early years, just give our audience a flavour for what you are and who you do. Just a couple of minutes about the optician's business.
Well, at school, my careers advisor said to me all I was good for was talking. And I found a career where I can talk, and I enjoy talking, I enjoy interaction. I was good at science, and the two just blended perfectly together. It was either dentistry, opticians, or podiatry. I didn't like the sound of feet, and the dentistry would have just been a one-way conversation. So,
let me go, yeah.
That's right. So optometry sounded the way forward for me. And for my very first day, I loved the job. I fell in love with it.
So before we go into the details, so as an optician, what are you doing specifically as a business? Not necessarily the owner, not necessarily the senior technician within that, but what do opticians do? I know we think it's just eyes, but I know that it's not just about eyes, is it? It's not about just getting an eye test and getting a new pair of glasses.
Well, there's a huge scale of different people doing different things in an optician's. And from the top down, you've got an ophthalmologist, and they need to be qualified to a doctor level,
right?
And then an additional 2 years to be a specialist surgeon. And they're really at the top of the tree. They're talking about, if we're talking about salaries, if you want to talk about that.
Well, let's not talk about that yet, because of course, this will be out there for many decades. But
so they're at the top of the tree of the ecosystem. Below them are optometrists, and an optometrist will need to do their A-levels and then a degree and then a year in a pre-registration environment. So they're doing the job, but they're being supervised. Below them are contact lens fitters, and they're GCSE, and then
that's the lower level for those in the US. So basic sort of high school education. Yeah.
And then below them are dispensing opticians, and these are the ones that translate the prescription and make the reality of the pair of spectacles.
So it gives us a good overview, and I know for some opticians there are also trainees and juniors running around, and also receptionists, and some of the bigger practices have got their own internal marketing teams. They might have HR. Most likely they're going to have people in accounts to invoice and collect the monies. It depends, of course, on the size of the practice, doesn't it? And I know that we have, I wouldn't say one-man bands, but certainly in the UK, there's still very much what we call a cottage industry, where there'll be one shop, one location, owned by one individual or a family in a high street. And then, of course, you've got the large chains. In the UK, I know we don't like to talk about the devil, but we're going to mention names, of course, but there are some large providers of optical services who don't necessarily, I think, in your opinion, offer the same kind of focus.
I think with any franchise, it depends on the franchise owner. McDonald's have it perfect. You can have a Big Mac in Detroit and then have a Big Mac in Hawaii, in Honolulu, and they'll be practically the same. And the service will be the same. Not the same. The same cannot be said for an optician. Because it's a people business. You're not flipping a burger.
It's not automated the same way, is it? You know, and we talk about McDonald's have now introduced vending-only stores where you'll go in and you'll put your money in, press your button, and your perfect burger will be produced within a minute.
Genius stuff. I think that McDonald's is a great model.
Did you see the movie?
No.
No.
I need to.
Really worth looking.
I really need to see that.
With Michael Keaton.